is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this afternoon, commercial drivers trooped to vehicle dump site close to Obiakpor Local Government Council. Governor Wike says his critics won't be victimized. ECOWAS court fixes dates to consolidate suits on Nigeria's Twitter ban. On the foreign scene, UK to fully lift COVID restrictions by July 19. I am Ifiemi Andrew. Commercial drivers trooped to the vehicle dump site close to Obiakpor Local Government Council this morning, waiting for their cars to be released. This is after the Obiakpor Local Government Chairman George Areolu stormed the place yesterday and ordered cars to be released to their owners. Some of the drivers who spoke to our correspondent said they were asked to pay a certain amount of money in order for their cars to be released. Respondent Vice Chairman of NURTW Chima Raymond told our correspondent that the dump site is used by the Ticket Verification Enforcement Team and is legally approved by the leadership of NURTW. Recall that several persons were arrested yesterday after the Obiakpor Local Government Chairman George Areolu stormed the Legal Task Force office close to the council. Our correspondent reports that the task force office is notorious for seizing vehicles and extorting money from motorists. It was learned that Mr. Areolu, who was having a meeting with council staff, got knowledge of the actions of the Legal Task Force and immediately went there with DPO of Rumodumaya Police Station. Some private school owners operating in Rumekini, Obiakpor local government area have accused local vigilante OSPAC of imposing a monthly 5,000 naira security levy on them. The operators, under the aegis of Professional Private School Owners Forum of Nigeria, in an interview with our correspondent, appealed to the leadership of OSPAC and Rumekini to reconsider and collect the monthly 100 naira that is being paid by other residents in the area.
We are not. They said that they want us to be paying 5,000 naira per monthly. So that's why I said earlier. I said if you look at the ways schools are operating, we don't operate per month. We operate per session. So what we are just trying to say is they should come down from that price. We are going to work with them.
We are not working like every other person, as in daily business. And we have other things, the government that we pay taxes to. So paying 100,000 to them, no. We're not happy at all. And all what we want, we are not saying we can support them. We can actually support them, but not for them to impose something or not.
We are not avoiding that issue of security. Security is very important. You know the country we are in now. So I think it's very important we also partner with them in that. At least if they can come down to what we have said, like the 500 naira.
The chairman of OSPAC in Rumekini, Chidi Amadi, has not responded to this allegation as his mobile phone is switched off. Governor Nyesom Wike says his administration will not victimize anybody or group for protesting or expressing their views. Governor Wike said this during the commissioning of the Secretariat of the National Union of River State Students built by his administration. He said some students are lured to protest against the state government.
Sometimes most of you leave what you are supposed to do and can find yourself on irrelevant things, sitting somewhere to come and block government house, people using you, politicians using you, come and block government house. And I told my people, why do you stop them? Democracy. I'm not part of this APC government that when people say how they are due, they'll send them to jail. Come. Stay in government house as much as you want to stay. When you finish, you go back. If you want to sleep there, it's their business. I attended the University of Port Harcourt. I attended this university. I went to law school. On record, I've never had anything called bursary. Never a dime. Never. 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira cannot make any difference to your life.
Governor Nyesom Wike also called on political leaders and entrepreneurs to contribute to the development of education.
Tomorrow I'm going to the University of Port Harcourt, which is another of my alma mater. I promised them to be the convocation arena. Tomorrow we're going to lay the foundation. So everybody, whatever opportunity you have, and I have told those of them too who came with me, who of course passed through this school, should see what they can do to help the government alone cannot do it. Some of us, you say, I went to social school. I agree. What have you done for your school? The school that trained you. When I was chairman of council, I built a hostel for this university. As chairman of Obiakpo local government, I did.
Governor Yeson Wike is currently at the University of Port Harcourt to flag off the construction of a new convocation arena in the school. Moving on, Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization Ohanaeze Ndigbo has urged the Southern Governors Forum to zone the 2023 presidency to the southeast. Spokesman for the Ohanaeze, Alex Obunlaya, said zoning the presidency to the southeast is in the interest of fair play and justice. Meanwhile, Yoruba social cultural group Afenifere says it will not support any presidential candidate until the constitution of the country is changed. The governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, says the ongoing amendment of the electoral bill will help sanitize the electoral process in the country. Speaking on a television interview, the governor complained of the huge financial demands for elections in Nigeria and called for a review.
What we see is that money has a very big role to play in elections. And if we need to reduce the influence of money in our electoral processes, I think that beyond looking at the formal financial involvement, we also have to look at the informal side. How do you even evaluate the monies that have been expended by those who are contesting elections to delegates, to voters and all that? It's worrisome, and we all as Nigerians need to look at that. As governors, we are very worried about it too.
Governor Doye Diri also reacted to the proposed 3% allocation to host communities in the petroleum industry bill.
On behalf of my state, Bayelsa, we held a position. Clearly, we came against the 30% for exploration of oil in the frontier states. We cannot imagine how you are proposing, as at that time, even 2.5% for the communities. And then you want to go and explore oil with the profit, with the proceeds from these oil-producing communities for 30%. And that is total injustice. The least we can stand for was 10%. And we rejected that 30% proposal.
When asked about the implementation of the ban on open grazing, which the Southern governors agreed to begin implementing from September 21, the Bayelsa State governor had this to say.
We have the authority to protect our citizens and their businesses. And by the Nigerian Constitution, we have been so vested with these powers of lawmaking. That's why in every state you have the State House of Assembly. And for us in Bayelsa, our open anti-grazing law was signed on the 11th of March 2021. And so for us in Bayelsa, it is not from September. Ours have started far back as 11th of March 2021. We do not need any other person's input in making of our laws. We went through the process of lawmaking.
Governor Diri described open grazing as a sign of underdevelopment and called on herders to practice ranching.
It is no more fashionable, and across the world, you don't hear that again. For me, that's another sign, another symptom of underdevelopment. And so we need to move away. We need to move away from open grazing, to ranching. And I'm happy that some of my colleagues, even in the north, are advocating for ranching. And that's the solution to this problem. I don't think that in this century that people should be moving, even those of them who are moving. There are people who do not have the opportunity. I don't think that those who own the cattle will ask their own children to move.
Meanwhile, Southern governors in their meeting in Lagos State yesterday rejected the ownership structure of the proposed Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC). It said NNPC should be held in trust by Nigeria's Sovereign Investment Authority (NSIA), since all tiers of government have a stake in the company.
The forum rejects the ownership structure of the proposed Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited and disagree that the company invested in the Federal Ministry of Finance. The forum proposed that the company should be held in trust by the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority (NSIA), since all tiers of government have stake in that vehicle.
They also commended the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill by the National Assembly, but rejected the proposed 3% share of oil revenue to host community as recommended by the Senate.
The forum commends the National Assembly for the progress made in the passage of the PIB. The forum, however, rejects in very strong terms the proposed 3% for host community and supports 5% share of the oil revenue to the host communities as recommended by the House of Representatives. The forum also rejects the proposed 30% share of profit for the exploration of oil and gas in the basins.
Still ahead, ECOWAS court fixes date to consolidate suits on Nigeria's Twitter ban. Stay tuned. CAN and Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria have asked Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to resign due to escalation of insecurity in the state. They said the governor has failed in his responsibility as the chief security officer of the state. Earlier, 2 persons died after bandits invaded Bethel Baptist Church, a private college in Kaduna State, kidnapping an unspecified number of students. Here's a reaction of some of the parents of the kidnapped students.
God, I have to tell you, I am not pleased. Father, in Jesus' name, oh God, David.
You were supposed to go after them to save the life of our children. Nobody go there. They are here only to look at people who are standing on the road. Is anybody holding any weapon?
It's only the students that were taken away. None of the staff is among them. So for me to meet the house master, who's in charge of them here, he too was able to escape with his own family. He managed to send his wife there, on the other wall there, and cross to call for rescue.
This latest kidnap incident comes barely a day after gunmen suspected to be kidnappers attacked the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Center in Zaria, Kaduna State. The Community Court of the Economic Community of West African States has fixed July 9 to decide on the consolidation of all applications before the court on Twitter ban by the federal government. The ECOWAS court stated this in a virtual court sitting held via Zoom today. On the cause list for the day were 2 applications against the federal government over the Twitter ban. In business, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed says the Nigerian economy is currently being driven by the non-oil sector. Ahmed said this during a meeting with the leadership of the National Assembly on Monday evening over the 2022-2024 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. The sectoral growth in the non-oil sector was primarily driven by telecoms and agriculture sectors, as well as other sectors of the Nigerian economy. In entertainment, Nollywood actresses Iyabo Ojo and Tonto Dike have slammed Yomi Fabiyi on his new movie, which depicts a real-life case involving a fellow actor, Baba Ijesha, accused of sexually assaulting a minor. Tonto Dike said the movie is a slap on all rape victims. In sports, the first batch of Team Nigeria to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games will depart the country today. The contingent, which is made up of 2 athletes, 2 coaches and 6 officials, will depart Nigeria via an Ethiopian airline flight from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The second batch of the country's contingent will also depart for Kizarazu, Japan, where Team Nigeria will be camped on July 13.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says by the end of July, nearly all coronavirus restrictions will be lifted. In a press conference in London, he said the success of the nation's vaccination rollout has put it on course to further relax restrictions starting July 19th, though the Prime Minister said a final decision would not be made until July 12th.
Reinforce our vaccine wall. We will change the basic tools that we have used to control human behaviour. We'll move away from legal restrictions and allow people to make their own informed decisions. From step 4, we will remove all legal limits on the numbers meeting indoors and outdoors. We will allow all businesses to reopen, including nightclubs. We will end the 1 metre plus rule on social distancing and the legal obligation to wear a face covering. It will no longer be necessary for government to instruct people to work from home. We will work with the travel industry towards removing the need for fully vaccinated arrivals to isolate on return from an amber country.
On the news this afternoon, you heard that commercial drivers have trooped to the vehicle dump site close to Obiakpo Council this morning after the council chairman ordered all cars to be released. Governor Nyesom Wike has said his critics won't be victimized. ECOWAS court has fixed July 9 to consolidate suits on Nigeria's Twitter ban on the foreign scene. UK is to fully lift COVID restrictions by July 19. The news is edited by Choma Ezemafo. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. Partly sunny weather expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. I am Ifiemi Andrew. Once again, good afternoon and thank you for listening.
The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent.